London-based doctor couple, Dr. Debasish Banerjee, a radiologist, and Dr. Chandrayee Sengupta, specializing in neurodevelopmental pediatrics, had their debut feature film, The Unexpected, premiere at the just concluded Chicago South Asian Film Festival. It is a double bill featuring two disparate stories titled Mirror in the Water and The Poisonous. While they both act in the film, Dr. Banerjee also wrote and directed it, and Dr. Sengupta produced it. They have both pursued theatre for a long time. The film synopsis describes Mirror in the Water as dealing with human ambition, love, and loss, while The Poisonous explores crime and its retribution. Each story proceeds with the roll of a dice. Dr. Banerjee and Dr. Sengupta spoke to MCR from London. Welcome to my entire reports, Dr. Banerjee. It's a great pleasure to have you.
It's a pleasure from my side as well. Great pleasure and great honor to be included in this prestigious film festival.
You're most welcome. I see that both you and Dr. Sengupta are obviously doctors. How did the world of cinema intrude?
Well, that's a long story. I'm from the city of Calcutta,
Yes,
and culture is very strong there.
indeed.
It's a very artistic, very culturally inspired city. So you get the bug of cinema and theater very early on. So while in my medical school, I was into professional theater and into television, films, uh, acting, writing scripts, and so it carried on. And then I moved to England, and then in 2012, Chandri and myself we formed a theater group here, and we were doing theater in London and in UK. We took one of our productions to Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and then unfortunately COVID happened. So
Right.
COVID isolation period happened, and that is the time when theater stopped. Everything stopped really uh, in the lockdown, and that is the time we again conceived of the idea of doing a film. So initially, our plan was very, very moderate. We had decided to shoot on mobile phones because mobile phones have also come into filmmaking now in a
They
very
do, yes.
way. Yeah, and so we had decided initially to start with our actors shooting from their home, then sending it over, and we'll edit it. But one thing led to the other, and here we are. We have completed a feature film, with a proper, in a proper way, as it
Indeed.
should.
Yeah, it looks like a well shot film.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Since I haven't watched the film, I've only watched your trailer, which seems quite intriguing to me. It has two stories from the looks of it.
That's correct.
Tell me a bit about it. Are these connected stories? Are they separate stories? Are there any overlaps at all?
These are structurally connected stories. They are structurally unified stories,
Okay,
and I have tried to use the concept of a double bill, which
right.
used to be, it's fallen out of fashion. I quite like them, and I quite like the trilogies. So I've used that structure, and I've used that structure to make a single feature film, and I have interconnected them structurally. I've unified them with both the films having both the stories having unexpected endings.
Okay,
So, but on the background thematically, this deals with the absurdities of human life. So the one story, The Mirror in the Water, that deals with love, loss, nostalgia, ambition, and other, The Poisonous, deals with crime and its retribution. So the background idea was to sort of cover the main gamut of literature and films and look at it in a unique manner. I'm very fond of absurd short stories. I like Spanish, Italian
I
short stories. I like Roald Dahl,
yeah,
and so I used all these tools that I had at my disposal, and to create a feature film with two structurally unified stories.
I see. Do they at all leak into each other at any point, or one ends and the other begins?
One ends, the other begins, but it is connected
Okay.
by, again, a visual connection is there, which I would rather
I
have,
understand that you would
have the
like
people
people.
watch it when they see. But the hint is there in the poster.
Okay. No, that's fair enough. On a slightly broader plane, when somebody is a writer and director, I've always been curious for instance, Alfred Hitchcock
Yes.
basically used to write almost fully edited films. His
Oh, yes.
scripts were so tightly written that anyone can just shoot it because he was very specific of what he
Yes.
wanted. I don't know if what you do as a writer, did you see the difference between what you wrote and what eventually came out on
Before
screen?
I come to before I come to me, I'll just make a, sort of a quick comment that you just to carry on from where you spoke about Alfred Hitchcock. He was a storyboardist to begin with, and
Right.
what are there in his writings? There's a lovely book by Truffaut Hitchcock. You might have read it,
Yes.
and he says that he was initially was storyboarding was so detailed, as you said. Anyone could then shoot a film. Well, for me, I think there are a few things that played a part in when I was conceiving the story and writing it down. Was that I was knew that I was doing a independent film with a certain budget, and but I had to make it interesting to the viewer. So I had to get up visuals which I knew I could achieve, and then the story developed on basis of the characters there, on certain visuals, basic visuals that I conceived, and the setting that I was it all happens together. It's rather organic.
Right.
But I would think, yes, I think the visuals always are there in when I am writing. At least always, the visuals are there while I'm creating and developing the story.
I see. What is the broad conceit of the film? I know there are two stories, but if you can tease me a bit with you did describe it a little bit earlier, but tell me a bit about one is of course the second one is the poisonous, right? That's
That's correct.
yeah. Tell me a bit about both, if without revealing much.
Well, yeah. The first story is basically we have written it in our log line, so I think that's probably we can divulge it. It is about a story of a brilliant man in his mid 50s, who is suffering from early onset dementia,
Right.
and he has realized that. And being an intelligent man, he has sort of moved away from. He was a very, he was a professor in English, a celebrated man who has written books and is internationally recognized. So he has moved away from London, away to Eastbourne, so sort of a seaside place, and sort of a semi-retirement. He's writing his last novel
I
because
see.
yeah, before because he knows that what's coming to him, and this novel sort of deals with a part of his life which he has left behind in India before he moved. And this is a collage of his chapters from his novel, his past based on which he is writing the novel, a recurrent dream he has, and an hallucination, which again is a part of the story that is better revealed on the screen.
Right.
So all this together, we look at a man who is a very intelligent man, but with a lot of ego in him, and he is trying to come to terms with a relationship that he had sort of truncated 25 years ago, but now it has come back to haunt him, and he wants to uh, sort of he wants to sort of understand, and also to uh, basically come to terms with that relationship, but with him as the winner, because his ego is too much. And we finally end up looking at a man's story who we see a man who has achieved in life, but he is left with a lot of emotional emptiness.
Right. Right.
That's the mirror in the water. And the other story is the story of a con man, basically, uh,
Okay.
who had at one time conned a archaeologist, and to the extent that that famous archaeologist got falsely blamed for some theft that this man had masterminded, and he had to go through court and had a very sad end, met a sad end. And then 10 years on, this man's daughter gets this man because she knows that he is interested in antiques and other things, and so she sort of engages the interest of this man and sets up a meeting with him at her residence. And because she wants to know, she wants a sort of to understand what this man is, and she wants a closure to the whole thing. And when he comes and meets this lady, this is just a one-to-one, very much of a chamber drama, set in through an afternoon into an evening, into an English evening, basically, which is dark and gloomy. And through this, the story sort of develops into, we see how this man is paid in terms of for the evils that he has committed, the crime he has committed, and he has kept on committing. He is a person who is not ever going to repent, but he gets paid. He gets paid for his. But the ending is actually a very surreal ending.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
To a surreal ending, we drive home. I think the two endings, the unexpected endings of these two stories are. I hope that the audience find them telling.
Indeed. I could be completely wrong, but my sense watching the trailer was it seems a bit conversation heavy. Is that an accurate?
Indeed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, that means you're assuming a certain level of engagement in the audience, that they'll pay attention to what is being talked about.
I so wish.
And
I know. I have done theater in the past, and I have had, when I started my theater in London, people who do theater here, seriously, they said that people nowadays want action, they want rip-roaring comedies, or they want very fast-moving something, and you're here. That story was a sort of again a chamber drama with a lot of dialogue. And I have always believed in the audience. I very, very strongly believe that if you tell a story, whatever genre it might be, if you tell him and if you can engage them, people are ready to engage. They want to listen to you.
Indeed, that's true.
And good dialogue, good storytelling, if you can tell it reasonably well, I think people will engage, and I'm very hopeful and very, very sure that they will.
You also act in it, right?
I have indeed, yeah.
So, I mean, you're wearing three hats: writer, director, and actor.
True.
This is a pretty cliched question, but it still has some validity after decades. That when you do these three things simultaneously, which hat is the dominant one?
Well, it must be the directors.
Okay.
It has to be the directors, yeah.
Okay.
Because you can't lose. You can't. The juggling act is difficult because continuously you have to keep an eye on everything, and you have to have an overview. Because if the director loses the overview, there's a good chance that you lose the plot, basically.
Right.
So I think the director's hat is most important here.
Your professional background is as a radiologist. It's a very precise science that you practice on a daily basis. People's lives depend on it. I mean, I can tell you because I've gone through two major surgeries.
And you have come out well at the end, it seems.
Yeah. So tell me something so precise to this, which is rather creatively open. You can do all kinds of things with cinema or writing or even acting. Has that been a difficult thing for you, or they are two completely separate silos?
I think they are separate in the sense that what I would say is that the medical field has brought, because of its nature, it gives you certain things in life, a certain in your toolbox, which are hugely important in any walk of life. Things like being serious about a project, being serious about your work, putting a lot of hard work, resilience, and then also you know it sort of trains you to take the rough with the smooth, to trains you to deal with problems, problem solving, which is a huge thing in filmmaking, really.
Indeed.
So I don't think in any way it has actually it has actually enriched my whatever interests I have in that creative
Okay.
field. It has helped.
And this was shot entirely in London?
And I think and actually a lot of it is shot in London and Eastbourne, which is a sort of a seaside town south of England. So
I see.
there's a sea in the first story. Uh,
I saw that,
the in the first
yes.
story it's set in London and Eastbourne. The second story is shot in London. Yeah.
Are you considering theatrical release? And if you are, what kind of challenge do you think you might run into?
To be honest, this is not a commercial film, so I'm quite aware that it will be always a um, intimate theater. So I'll probably will definitely want a theatrical release, but I'm looking at release in there are a lot of intimate theaters. We have a chain here in Europe, Curzon
Okay.
Theatre, where there about 100 sittings. And I'd love, as I said, that this is a film I would like the audience to seriously engage in and enjoy it of a different flavor. And this is the strength of the film, and I think I'm looking at theater release in such theaters.
What about streaming platforms? Are you looking at them at all?
Absolutely. uh, but after now we are trying to give it, doing the
Oh,
festival run, so to say. After this, obviously we want to do a theatrical release um, in England and wherever we get the opportunity, which is reasonable. And then finally, obviously, we will be trying to put it to a streaming platform for a more wider viewership.
I'm an unfulfilled filmmaker. I have, like I was saying, I have at least 12 to 15 films fully made in my mind. They just need to be transferred. That's all.
You know what, Mainakji?
Ye-
I think genuine audience contributes more to filmmaking than the filmmaker himself.
True,
It is
true.
very, very important, and we
Yeah,
don't we miss that. Even in
yeah,
theater, I always feel, even if there's one person in the audience who has connected to me while I'm on stage, my performance is successful.
yeah.
So we do need a very erudite audience to make our effort successful. So people
Absolutely.
like you are more important than people like us.
No, no, not at all. You're the one who started it. Tell me, to come to you, neurodevelopmental pediatrics
Yeah.
to acting. Explain that to me.
Well, in neurodevelopmental pediatrics, it's very much to do with the psychological development of the fetus, right from womb
Right.
to adulthood. And my area is autism and ADHD. I'm a specialist in that, and I'm a clinical lead of that service at Imperial College in my trust. So basically, especially with this movie, it's got such layers of psychological development and psychological storytelling that it fitted in very well. And I had been given, Devashish gave me the tall task of doing two quite important characters in the two stories, because it's a two-story film, isn't it? It's a double bill. Now, in the first story, the character is quite different from the one in the second story, and I had to constantly juggle and bring out the layers.
I
If
see.
you watch the film, probably I will be able to explain a bit better, because if I explain it now, I'll give away the suspense of the
No,
film.
not at
So I don't
all.
want to
I
do
will
it.
watch it. Yeah.
So I think I got really, it was a it was a bit easy for me because when I do my clinics, when I talk to parents, the concept of autism, describing it is very difficult because it's very qualitative.
Right.
You don't have a quantitative explanation of autism or ADHD because you don't have any blood test or a scan or any quantitative measure. It's a qualitative analysis. So, explaining to someone a qualitative impact of a condition is almost like acting out an emotion, which is again very qualitative. So, I
Right.
think that is how it helped me a lot. And Devashish always had more faith in me than I had in myself. But I think I also owe it to my genetic pool because my granduncle is Charu Roy. I'm sure
I
you've
see.
heard of him. Charu Roy was one of the pioneers of Indian cinema,
Right.
and he was a very famous artist as well. He was trained by Abanindranath Thakur in the
Oh,
Tagore family. Yeah. So when people start appreciating my acting skills, I think I have that sense of gratitude and sort of, as a sort of obligation towards my forefathers because I've inherited their skills. So I have to be very genuine with them.
yeah.
Uh,
I
I
was,
can't about
I
with
was
them.
watching the trailer and one couldn't tell that you are not a professional actor.
Well, that's what people say because I always feel there is no shortcut to success. So I do put in a lot of homework before I face the screen or go up on the stage. And I think that helps.
Yeah, yeah.